We're in Alabama with Polaris Industries, making their flagship vehicle, the Ranger.
This is Ranger country.
And while we're here, we're making history.
1 million!
High five, nice job.
Team
nice
effort,
job.
everybody.
Nice job.
It's time to off-road with Made for the Outdoors.
People are passionate about outdoor equipment. Get this, Americans spend more than $20 billion a year on gear. But no one ever really sees how their stuff gets made.
Well, that's where we come in. Each week, we throw open the factory doors and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite gear is made.
Made for the outdoors.
Welcome to the show. One great way to explore the outdoors is with a little throttle therapy, and the Polaris Ranger is the perfect machine for an outdoorsman. Polaris Industries is a worldwide off-roading icon. This billion-dollar business started with snowmobiles back in 1954 in Roseau, Minnesota. In the 80s, the company unveiled its first all-terrain vehicle. Then in the 90s, the first Ranger.
This is the one that takes you where no vehicle has gone before. The one that pulls out all the stops. Truly going anywhere off-road.
And now, nearly 20 years later, Polaris continues to improve their utility vehicles. This is the Ranger XP 1000. Today, we're actually seeing the 1 millionth Ranger come off the line.
The Ranger is such a defining product for Polaris, and what we've been able to do with that vehicle, you know, really over the last decade, is become a major force in the industry.
Today, Polaris Industries is celebrating a milestone. Their Huntsville, Alabama facility will build the 1 millionth Ranger. Let's see how it's made for the outdoors.
Lindsay, welcome to Polaris Huntsville location. This is Ranger country. We are making history in Huntsville as part of Polaris' broader picture. We'll walk you through every step of the process that we use to make that 1 millionth unit.
We're in Huntsville, Alabama. This plant is roughly 930,000 square feet, and this is our main manufacturing site for our Ranger product.
The facility is state-of-the-art with the latest and greatest technology. And there are more than 1,000 employees here.
At every plant, it's the workforce that matters, and we're in some great communities. The workforce in Huntsville is fantastic. It's a $150 million investment. We could not be more pleased with what we've got.
We do everything from fabrication to final assembly and test.
The first department is tube fabrication, and this is Bill, the head of the department. And you guys go through just a little bit of steel around here?
A little bit. We run through about 40,000 pounds of tube every day.
Wow.
Square tube, round tube, tube up to 22 feet and up to 3 inches in diameter.
And you had said that's approximately 1 semi-load of steel in production on a daily basis.
Yep. By the end of the day, these racks will be, for the most part, empty.
All of this raw tubing needs to be cut to size. Fiber optic lasers do the work.
This is really the latest, greatest, best thing that's out there. It's early in its transition. This is the only Polaris plant that has all fiber lasers.
This tubing will become the frame of the machine. The bending process creates the right angles, which are crucial for welding.
Starts here, you can't weld without tube, and without tube you can't get a frame.
Welding is next. If robots spark your interest, stay tuned. This is the millionth Ranger build on Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Banks Outdoors, Aquarius Home Services, Border View Lodge, FVP, and Husqvarna.
Welcome back to the show. It's time for a little metal manipulation. Check out these robotic welders doing the mainframe. This cell has 4 robotic arms that complete 200 welds in less than 10 minutes.
So the welding department is the backbone of the plant. We have over 200 welders running over 45 robotic stations and manual stations with 99 robotic arms.
The one-piece chassis, roll cage, and small parts take shape thanks to robots and good old-fashioned manual welding. 70% is robotic, 30% is by hand. The next department is metal paint, and over here it takes a team effort. This is Brandon and Adam, and we're going to now lift the big metal frame up onto the conveyor system.
Go up.
This conveyor system takes the raw parts through giant dip tanks to wash off any residue. It's like a giant car wash. Parts are then E-coated and powder coated. First suit of the day, here we go. Check out these paint guns. Robotic arms powder coat. Parts then cycle through here for a final touch-up. This guarantees corrosion protection. It helps being tall. That pays off. So now the main frames and the roll cages are going to head into the oven where they'll bake for about an hour. Metal parts aren't the only things baking. Polaris produces their own plastics too.
We use injection molding presses, and the plastic comes in small granules and is pressed into the different shapes that we need for fenders and box sides and that type of thing. All the plastics for Ranger are made in-house, so it's about 50% of our volume right now of what we paint is Ranger plastics.
Suit number 2. Blue is more my color. Okay, so what's the deal with the suits?
So these are a lint-free suit. Basically what they do is make sure that no contaminants on you or from your clothes get in the system.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then stay in here.
Oh, we stay in here?
Yep.
What is this for?
This basically is blowing off any lint that's left on the outside of your clothes or on your hair.
Oh, I did not expect that. We're extra clean, extra clean.
So in this room, this is our tack-off room. So basically this is right before the parts come in and get painted.
Okay. This is the final step of cleaning before it goes to paint.
Correct. So right up here, the next run of parts we have are all the new Ranger XP1000 parts. This will be where we're starting to paint red.
To remove fingerprints, we use alcohol wipe. So we wipe in one direction so that any dirt or dust or debris that's on here comes off.
So this removes fingerprints?
Yeah, that's good, exactly. And then once you're done with that, we'll use a tack cloth to remove any dust that this may leave or anything that's on your body.
Wax on,
Wax off, that's it.
Wax on, wax off.
And that is basically it.
So we saw powder coating, and now we're getting to see liquid paints. And for our millionth Ranger, we're going with Sunset Red.
To see the first Ranger that we made in the plant that was also Sunset Red and see the 1 millionth Ranger also be Sunset Red, I don't know. It can't be a coincidence. It seems more like fate.
The excitement is definitely building in Huntsville. We're halfway through our millionth Ranger build. Still ahead, we'll introduce you to the assembly team, celebrate this milestone, and ride. You're watching Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Central Boiler, Summit Beer, Ice Castle Fish Houses, Smoky Hills Outdoors Store, and Magnum Research.
Welcome back to Made for the Outdoors. 1 million units of anything is quite the milestone. Polaris is proud to make history with their millionth Ranger at their Huntsville, Alabama facility.
To me, that's an awesome experience. You can only build the 1 millionth Ranger once. So to have it come off the assembly line here at Huntsville is something that nobody else can ever say that they did. This is where the Ranger starts. Without the factory, there is no final product to give to a customer. So without the people's care and pride to build it and build it right and have a high quality product, that's what makes a Ranger name.
We're really pleased with the workforce that we have. We got a high-end workforce.
The assembly process begins in the supermarket.
That's where we stage a lot of our painted parts and everything gets kitted and put on paint racks.
The aisles of parts are endless.
The supermarket is my baby. My job is to make sure that every line has all the parts that they need.
Down this line right here is all parts for the Ranger XP1000, this whole row.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so these are like the aisles at the grocery store. We're picking out what we need.
Our bacon, our milk, our bread, everything we need to make sure that we get our vehicles running on out this door daily.
I love it.
At Polaris.
Here's your scanner.
Thank you. Self-checkout. Shop till a drop.
This is a little different than our normal type of shopping, right? But we'll take it.
Well, look, that's why I do my job so well, because I love to shop. Groceries all put up.
You're done. Shopping done.
Shopping
Thanks, girl.
done. You're welcome.
While Tina delivers small parts, the frame arrives via a conveyor system from the overhead queue. This is the assembly line.
We have a line that's circular, it's like an oval. It goes clockwise, there's roughly 100 employees to a line.
The frame is placed on the carrier, so employees don't have to do any heavy lifting.
The cart is what we call an AGC. It's an automatic guided vehicle.
At the beginning of the line, the new skid plate is installed, followed by brakes and some controls.
Down past that is where the engine and transmission gets dropped into the unit. The cart moves from station to station based on time. It's the cycle time of the operator. When they get done with their job, they hit what we say kick the cart, and they hit a button on the side of the cart, and it'll move to the next station so the next operator can do their process. Right after the engine and transmission comes the control arms and what I call the overall suspension package.
We're installing your front A-arms and the half shafts, tighten all the bolts down. We have some safety critical bolts that we're doing here. Green light, that means we got the right torque. I haven't personally done 1 million, but I've done a lot. It seems like 1 million.
Once suspension is done, the team kicks it down the line. For the 1,000th Ranger, the ladies will install sunset red plastics and add decals. Then, kick it to tires. Wow, that is awesome, Andrew. You don't even have to lift the tire. 35 stations in all, every one making it more Ranger. Up next, the 1,000th Ranger rolls off the line. Plus, we take it for a test drive. You're watching Made for the Outdoors.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Banks Outdoors, Aquarius Home Services, Border View Lodge, Factory Motor Parts, and Husqvarna.
Welcome back. This is the Polaris Manufacturing Facilities Vision Center.
So when the unit goes through the vision system, what we're really looking for there is cosmetics. So you're checking the plastics, are the right color arms on it. We're checking for spring colors and decal positioning.
After the vision system, it then goes through a finished goods audit to make sure everything on the vehicle is up to standard. And this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. The 1,000,000th Ranger. Here she is.
Way to go, guys!
Yay!
High five, everybody! High five! High five! High five! Nice job!
The team
Nice
effort,
job!
everybody.
Nice job!
1 million!
1 million! We did it!
Say that we were able to roll off that 1,000th Ranger today after a lot of hard work means a lot to all of us out here. We take it all very personally.
And I'm very proud of the entire team. How many people did it take? All of Polaris. I'm going to say when you look across Polaris, I believe we have 5,000 to 7,000 employees, and I would say everybody had a hand in getting to that 1 millionth unit.
But the Ranger is such a defining product for Polaris, and what we've been able to do with that vehicle, you know, really over the last decade, is become a major force in the industry, and that's been fun. So to see us reach this major milestone is just incredibly rewarding.
Honestly, it's a pretty big deal. It almost feels like McDonald's. You know, like up on the sign, 1 billion burgers served. We're 1 million Rangers served.
$1 million. What a milestone. This one will most likely go on display somewhere, but not until we make sure she works properly. How cool is this? Directly behind the Polaris plant, they have their own personal test track. So we're going to now test the 1,000th Ranger. Nick Megan might have the coolest job at this facility.
Definitely wouldn't have dreamed I was doing this whenever I got this position. First thing in the morning, what I'll do is I'll go pull a Ranger off the line. I'll get it just like a dealer would have it. I'll build it up. I'll go through a 140-point inspection.
Each day, Nick picks a couple of machines to test and inspect.
Basically, drive it really hard for 50 miles and make sure everything goes right.
There's no question, Polaris Ranger has come a long way since the 90s. These machines are shipped all around the world, 1 million and counting. They're definitely made for the outdoors.